What is FIRE? FIRE is Financial Independence Retire Early, and it's a movement that is dedicated to saving and investing over time to achieve financial independence, such that you can retire. The goal of this movement is financial independence, but also the ability to retire far earlier than typical. Right? Today, the average American will retire in their 60s. Here, those of the FIRE movement is trying to retire in their early 30s or 40s or 50s. FIRE is not a millennial fad. It is not only for those with a high income. FIRE, financial independence, retire early, is for everyone who wants to be financially independent. With regards to FIRE not being a fad, you'll hear the critics basically downplaying this as a fad by millennials. FIRE itself is generally new to the lexicon, F.I.R.E, that combination, but the concept is not. For hundreds of years, many have saved, invested, and have experienced financial freedom such that they can do whatever they desire. Let's think about it. Is this not a version of what you tell your kids? As a matter of fact, what your parents told you, isn't this something the same or similar to what they told you? Squirrel away some money for a rainy day. But in the case of FIRE, that rainy day is early retirement. It's important to understand that FIRE itself is not new, right? The concept is old. You save money, later you'll be able to use that money. But today's movement applies, this old concept to the tools available. For example, many achieve FIRE, using online saving accounts, which offer you higher interest rates. Many use Roth IRAs or traditional IRAs to save. There's a concept of maxing out your 401k and related accounts, investing in low-cost index funds, paying down credit card debt or student loan debt, and developing side hustles in the current economy. Concept is old, application it may be new. The next issue that you hear about FIRE is that FIRE is only for those with high income, right? Don't get me wrong. I do understand that, some with high incomes may have an easier time saving and investing. However, this is not always true. If you look at those who are high income earners, you can see that it is actually not atypical for those individuals to live paycheck to paycheck. Simply put, those nice cars that you see, high income earners have, they are expensive. Typically, most high income earners delay earning in the job environment because they're attending school. That adds to some cost and also adds to a massive load at the end. Look at lawyers or doctors; they may graduate school, before starting their profession with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Right, they need to service that debt. So you can understand that some of these individuals will actually live paycheck to paycheck. And also they may be influenced more with keeping up with the Joneses or having lifestyle creep. So those things may thrown in there may cause them to actually spend more than they actually earn, even though they're earning a higher salary. Right? So the fact is, no matter if you're taking home a high salary or a low salary or somewhere in between, FIRE is for you. No matter the income level, achieving financial independence will take discipline and sacrifice. No matter the high end or the low end of the income level, you will have to sacrifice something, right? And while you see the popular stories of those individuals who are the high income earners who will squirrel away, 70 to 80% of their income, over 10 years or so, and then they achieve FIRE, and then you see them being flashy about that lifestyle. You also may see the sensationalization of someone living in an RV out in the middle of nowhere such that they could save, right? These are the extremes that you see, but there are a lot of individuals out there who are middle class, who have kids, and they have achieved FIRE by simply saving, living below their means and investing over time. It may take longer, but it all takes discipline, right? So no matter who you are, live below your means, save, invest, and you can achieve FIRE. you can achieve financial independence. Early retirement portion of this, the retire early portion, you know, is typically triggered when you have savings or investment. Your entire portfolio is about 30 times or more or higher than your yearly expenses, right? And the aim here is to basically have a portfolio such that you're able to withdraw a certain amount within a year over time without exhausting that amount while you're still alive and around, right? So it's a calculation that is done where you're able to withdraw 3, 4, or 5% off your portfolio each year without running into some kind of an issue. But again, your lifestyle will dictate what that FIRE number for you is. If you're living a lifestyle, where you're traveling a lot or you're spending a lot, you're going to take a lot more money saved or invested in that portfolio for you to hit your FIRE number. Now, if you're going to be a minimalist, it will take far less. And that's where the different categories of FIRE comes in, right? So you have, those who are, going about this the fat FIRE way, right? And you'll hear that. Those are the individual who wants, basically maintain an active lifestyle, living maybe an above average lifestyle in retirement. And so their FIRE number will be significantly higher than someone who's more of a minimalist. But with that fat FIRE, it takes longer to achieve maybe, but it does prepare you for most unseen financial bumps during retirement, right? You can always cut back somewhat. Then you have lean FIRE, right? So this is more of the minimalist type lifestyle, right? Where you're doing extreme savings, right? You're cutting back, right? So you'll have a lower FIRE number. You'll achieve FIRE faster, right? You don't necessarily need $1 million or $2 million to achieve this level. However, it's something to be careful about is the fact that with the lean FIRE, you're more vulnerable or sensitive to unforeseen financial bumps. We also have, barista FIRE, right? So these are individuals who, quit their traditional employment, but still do some part-time work to cover current expenses, right? That would otherwise erode their portfolio. So basically, these individuals are withdrawing money from their portfolio, but they're supplementing that with income. Fourth, we have coast FIRE, right? And these are individuals who have enough in their portfolio, but they're doing part-time or full-time or whatever work on the side to pay for living expenses. So these individuals are keeping employment to cover living expenses, and they're not withdrawing any of their portfolio, right? So there's different levels here, and you'll see where you fit. If you or your family, what is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want to achieve? How do you see, your lifestyle changing, or what kind of life do you want to live in the future? FIRE is broad enough for everyone, as I mentioned previously. It's not for a specific group. It's not for a specific income level. It's for anyone who wants financial independence. And, what that looks like for you is different than what that looks like for me. It's difficult to see the drawbacks here of FIRE, right? You are building wealth to get to a stage of potentially retire. And this is the retire early is where critics tend to dig in. Many of these critics, they'll focus on that early retirement component. They will bring up what happens if you hit a financial bump following retirement, right? But what's important here is to note that many who are in the FIRE community, the FIRE movement, they have absolutely no intention of fully retiring at 35, 40, or 45. Retirement to most folks in the FIRE movement means something different than what it means to the general public, right? Retirement is not the desire to retire and do nothing, right? It's not the desire to stop contributing to society, right? To FIRE enthusiasts, retire early generally means you can retire if you want to, right? And when you retire, it basically means leaving a career that you don't like, right? Leaving a situation that caused you not to want to get up in the morning, right? It's leaving that life behind and doing what you want to do because you can financially do it. right? Whether that be starting your own business, whether that be volunteering, spending more time with your family, right? There's a myriad of things that you can do following your quote unquote retirement that where you're actually contributing. If you look around and just do a simple search, what you'll find is that most folks who are going after FIRE, who have achieved FIRE, are actually still working or earning income in some capacity. It's just that they're retired from something that they thought they needed or had to have to make it through. They're now doing something that they like to do, right? So it's just a simple reality check for those who criticize, folks who are doing FIRE. If someone has the discipline, to save, to invest, and to achieve early retirement, do you really think that individual would then sit at home and twiddle their thumbs? Right? No. Right? For you to achieve financial independence, it means sacrificing. It means consistently contributing to your portfolio, growing your wealth over time. And this could take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to do. If someone is able to do that, that means that they have the drive to do something. They have something at that end that they're looking forward to doing. And whether that be investing your time in your kids, or volunteering, or picking up a passion, or doing something that you're passionate about, or helping others, it's contributing in a different way to society that can be beneficial to everyone. And one of the most important points of FIRE is achieving financial independence, right? So even on that journey to financial independence, there are countless benefits, right? Having money in the bank lowers financial stress. It lowers all kinds of issues, or the chance of all kinds of issues that would pop up in your marriage, right? These are concerns that you don't have anymore. You have more brain space to go after other things, right? It also allows you to take advantage of other opportunities. It builds confidence. Knowing that you're in a position where you can quit your job if you want to gives you power, right? And that is a good thing. It also puts you in a position such that if there is a recession, if there is a situation where you get fired from your job, you are not panicking. You have the foundation. You have, you could go home and look at your accounts. You could see that your family is taken care of. You have no debts or low debts. You have your credit cards paid off. You have money in the bank. You have your home paid off or close to being paid off. You have your financial life in order. You have your emergency fund. You have your portfolio that's growing. You have fallbacks. You have options. So with regards to drawbacks from FIRE, it is a sacrifice that you have to make if it's something that you want. But for all the critics who talks about, issues or criticize those who try to do FIRE, especially in this COVID-19 atmosphere where so many individuals have been laid off and are now out of work, it makes it look very silly to knock someone or a group of individuals who are trying to attain financial independence. So if financial independence is what you want, plan and execute to get to that goal. To sum it all up, FIRE is achieving financial independence such that you can retire early. And with emphasis on that achieving financial independence, being able to have what you need such that you don't have to continue working. It does not mean that you'll retire. It means that you may change your position as far as career choice and go into something new. Further, forget all the hype about FIRE being for those who have high incomes or those without children. There are many folks who have achieved financial independence and have kids who are middle class. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. So if this is something that you want to pursue, no matter what form of life you have or your income level, you can do it over time. So This is to encourage you to take that next step and start that journey to financial independence.